Hi everyone and welcome to Graceful Stitchery. This is my fourth floss tube. Thank you for people that have watched so far and subscribers, and thank you for anyone who's watching now. If you'd like to subscribe, click the subscribe button and please consider clicking the bell, as that will then notify you when I upload a video. Like I say, this is my fourth video so far. I've also got two tutorials on my channel, one for stitching itself, a tutorial on how to stitch, and one about bobbinating, which is putting threads on bobbins or floss on bobbins. The Americans call it floss, the British call it threads or thread. So today I've got to show you my WIPS, some of my stash and some haul, which I haven't really had much haul up until now. Today I've got quite a bit. Well, first of all, in my haul are these. I say nothing to do with cross stitch. They are sort of to do with cross stitch because they're to make WIP bags out of. All these fat quarters. I got 20 fat quarters for £15. They're so cute. I've made WIP bags before, which are like this, but I've seen so many people with the WIP bags that have vinyl on the front. If you're wondering what a WIP bag is, WIP stands for work in progress. So it's something that you're stitching on and that isn't finished, and you need to put it somewhere in between stitching on it. So these are the WIP bags that I made myself, which are fine, but you can't keep, not really much room to keep your pattern in there unless you fold it and all this sort of thing. So I was looking for something a bit more sturdy that I could sort of stack up, not this way, but stand next to each other. And saw the WIP bags that had the vinyl on the front, and I've actually started to make one. This is my attempt. I haven't been able to finish it because the vinyl hasn't arrived. It was supposed to be here Monday. I seem to have this problem all the time with things not arriving. It said that it was going to be here Monday, but I only just got a notification today that it had been dispatched today. So that's probably not going to be here for a few days. So the WIP bag, this is going to be the inside actually, that's going to be the back. This is going to be the inside. The zip is going to be about here somewhere. And then the front here is going to be vinyl. So whatever's inside it, you obviously put it in the zipped part, and whatever's inside it, I'll be able to see through the vinyl. But these are the fat quarters that I got, which are so cute, and I'll just do a quick run through of them now. Some of them are duplicates. But yeah, I think they're just so pretty. But this lovely lady was selling them on Facebook Marketplace, which I have a bit of an addiction to. Don't know if you have that in your area, but yeah, these are the fat quarters. That one is just so cute. So hopefully by the time I do my next video, my vinyl will have finally arrived and I will have made my WIP bags. Speaking of WIPs, I will show you what I'm working on currently. This little lady has not had much work done on her. It's Cathedral Woods Goddess by Mirabilia, and I'm doing a conversion, although her headdress isn't converted. The conversion happens further down, and it was by a lady on one of the Mirabilia groups that I'm on. And this is on tea and coffee dyed fabric, which I dyed myself. She's got 2/1 skin. I was doing 1/1, but I realised that it was far too fine. You couldn't really see it properly, so I had to go back over everything I'd done with another strand, and then everything going forward I carried on with 2 strands, 1/1 there. But she has been put into retirement a little bit for now. Probably bring her back out towards the autumn because I feel like she is an autumnal lady. The main reason she's been put into retirement is because, stupidly or not, I'm not sure yet, I offered to do some commissions, which seemed a good idea at the time, but now is actually kind of annoying because it's encroaching on my stitching time. The commissions I offered to do were based on the Royal Engineers emblem that I did for my husband, which I gave him for his birthday, and I'll pop a picture of that in here. It's in one of my previous videos. and everything's back to front. I'm using the laptop this time. I haven't used the laptop before. I usually use my phone, but I need to use my phone later in the video. So everything's left is right and right is left. So this is part of the Royal Engineers emblem. Obviously it's not finished yet. It has the, I can't get used to this, it has the green leaves on both sides and then the red at the bottom. Like I say, this is a commission for someone, which will be a fully finished object when it's sent out in a frame. And also, well, I suppose this is part of my haul really. But the other one that I've got to do as a commission is for the Queen's Royal Hussars, and this is the whole kit. And both these kits come from Elite Designs, and they're absolutely brilliant. If they haven't got a certain regiment made into a kit, they will make it for you, or you can at least ask and they'll try and make it for you. Because I'm looking for a particular regiment for someone. It's a surprise, so I won't speak about that, but I'm looking for that and they didn't have it, and I asked them and they said, yeah, we'll make it up for you. So I'm actually really looking forward to stitching this, because I've not stitched it before. This is the third time of me stitching this. So much as I love the Royal Engineers, it's getting a bit tedious. So this is part of my haul, but it's because of my commissions. So as soon as my Royal Engineers is finished, this one will be started, and hopefully should only take me a couple of weeks. And once they're done, I'm not going to be offering commissions again, because as I said, it completely takes over my stitching time, and I can't stitch on the things I actually want to stitch on. Another new start that I had, which I spoke about the Ada in my last video, because I'd kindly been gifted it by Coffee Craft Fabrics, that is, on Etsy and on Facebook. She gifted me this piece of Ada, which is absolutely gorgeous, and I had no idea what to stitch on it. And then what she called Shannon Christine brought out the 4th of July little sequence, which are available now from, well, I saw it on Facebook and I copied the link and was able to buy them that way. This is going to say Stars and Stripes. The stars is in blue and the stripes is in red, and it's going to look like the American flag. This I'm doing as a gift for an American friend. Originally I hoped to get it done in time for the 4th of July. That's now not happening, seeing as it's the day after tomorrow. Then it's her birthday on, I think, the 17th of July. I was hoping to get it finished for that. Again, doesn't look like I'm going to because of the commissions. So I'll just do it and send it at some point. She doesn't know she's getting it. It's a surprise, so I can send it any time. I was stitching in a hoop, which I really didn't like. Since I've started stitching in Q-snaps, I can't go back. But this piece of Ada was a little bit too small. So all I did was just attach it to a bit of scrap cloth, just ran it round quickly with my sewing machine, and now it fits in the Q-snap. And this needle, this grind guard I made myself out of one of the fat quarters. So that's another thing I'll be making out of the fat quarters. I was hoping to do whip bags with matching grind guards, but I don't know whether I've got enough of the same fabrics to do that. But anyway, so this is my Stars and Stripes by Shannon Christine, and I'm hoping to get that finished as soon as I've done my commissions. And that brings me on to my stash and my haul. This week I've gone through my entire stash, including my magazines, which I had stacks of, gone through them all to decide if there's anything in them that I want to stitch, and if there isn't, I've managed to sell quite a lot of them. I've put them up on the Facebook cross-stitch selling sites to sell, and I've managed to sell quite a few of them, which is great because that's just built up money in my PayPal and meant that I can then spend that on more cross-stitching stuff. I don't tend to like to treat myself out of the family purse, shall we call it, but that way I felt like it was a bit more guilt-free. So what did I buy? That's right. So going through my stash, I came across this, which is a bit of well, I'm not sure what sort of material it is, but I know that it can be stitched on. This was gifted to me in a big load of cross-stitch stuff, which I got on a Facebook group called Freebay. I'm not sure if you have that in your area, but it's where people just give things away for free or ask for things for free. This was being given away last year, this big box of all sorts of cross-stitch things, including a frame, Ada, all sorts of things, magazines, all sorts. And so this, I really like the look of, and I wanted to stitch something Halloweeny on it. I've always wanted to, it looks a bit pale there. The light's not very good, it's getting dark here, so I'm using artificial light tonight. Anyway, I wanted to stitch something sort of Halloweeny on it. So I went onto Etsy and absolutely scoured it, and I found this, which is a Harvest Moon, and it is by an Etsy shop called Time for Stitch. Where's the camera? There we go, the Harvest Moon. It's not very big, it's only about 5 inches or 5 or 6 inches across the top, maybe 6 inches down. So I'm thinking that I can stitch it on sort of half of this here. So that's what I'm going to be planning for that. And what I'll probably use is Classic Colour Works, the variegated threads from, well, the hand-dyed threads from Classic Colour Works. I really love them, and I know there's many others. WIPS Dye Works look absolutely beautiful too, but I haven't used them, and I know that I can. I'm not saying you can't trust them, but I personally know that I like Classic Colour Works. I can get them from Lakeside Needlecraft. They're $1.75 each usually, plus P&P, but she's so quick. So I'm going to be looking for some nice oranges, especially for the sun and the pumpkins. And then you've got the spiders. I might not do the cat blue and the tree blue. I'm guessing they're only blue because of the black of the Ada here. Probably turn it into a black cat and probably do a dark brown on the branches and tree trunk and things like that, and then a black for the bat. But yeah, that's my plans. I know that people like to have a Jolly July where they stitch Christmas things, but I'm hoping to have a Halloweeny July, a spooky July. That's my plan. Once I get, if there's any of July left, once I've got the commissions done, or if I fancy stitching something else rather than the commissions. Another Halloween, sorry, this is because I have to show you it on my phone. Another Halloween design that I've got, that I've bought from Etsy, is this, and this is by Cross Stitch Express, and I first saw this on Candice Kay's Flosstube. I've been watching her avidly. I really like a lot of what she stitches. So she enabled me to buy this. I'll blame her. So yeah, this is Spooky by, like I say, Cross Stitch Express. And I got into a bit of a sort of chat with Annie from Cross Stitch Express when I ordered that. And her being an enabler as well, obviously, she showed me these brand new ones that have just come out, and you can buy them in a kit. Well, it's the Ada, I guess it's the Ada, actually I'm not sure, no sorry, it's the chart and the threads. It's $24.99, which is probably just over £20, something like that, and it's imported from Italy, she said, the threads are. So yeah, sorry, you don't get the Ada, you just get the chart and the threads, but these are really cute. And I did actually say no to them because I felt like I'd spent enough on Etsy. But maybe next time, or maybe next year, or maybe at some point I'll get those. But I thought they were absolutely beautiful. Another Halloween chart that I bought last year but never got round to stitching is this. Where are you? There we are. Sorry, everything's back to front. There we are. This is absolutely gorgeous, and this is by an Etsy shop called Cross Stitching Patterns. So this and the Halloween picture both get sent as PDFs, which you can print out, or if you use Pattern Keeper, which I don't because I've got an Apple phone, but if you use Pattern Keeper, they come as PDFs, so that's quite handy. And this is, again, only, I thought this was quite big, but it's actually, I believe, only 5 inches across, 5 or 6 inches. I think it's 5 inches across, 7 inches down, so it's not really that big. Like I say, this was from a shop called just called Cross Stitching Patterns. That's all that's called on Etsy, and it was quite cheap. I'm sure it was only something like $5 odd, something like that. And it's an instant download. So you pay, and it instantly gets sent to your Etsy account or your email. And the last bit of haul that I've got, which is not Halloweeny, is this, which I'm thinking of stitching for my bedroom, but it's actually bigger than I thought. So that's more like it. In my bedroom, I have a few pictures of peonies already, and it's that sort of colour scheme, and I really like the look of that. And that was from another Etsy shop called. Actually, sorry, it wasn't from an Etsy shop. I bought it on a Facebook page called Morra Design Studios, Morra, Morra Design Studios, and that was an instant download as well. So that got sent to my email address instantly. That was about $10 or something like that. But yeah, that though is quite a bit bigger than what I thought it was going to be, and it's full coverage. Well, the bit in the middle is full coverage, if you see what I mean. And it looks quite complicated, so that might have to become a main WIP when I've got more time to sort of concentrate on it. So that's my haul. Oh, sorry, one more piece of haul, which is this, which is a narrowboat. I don't know if you can see it. Let me take it out of the plastic. My daughter and her boyfriend and their dog live on a narrowboat, and I've been looking for a narrowboat chart for ages and never really found one that I liked, or found one that was anything like their boat. But this is very similar to my daughter's boat, and I'm going to stitch this. Again, it's only sort of a few inches across the top. The border I'm going to leave off. This is it, actually. This is it when it's stitched. But the border, I'm going to leave the border off because I just want it to be small. Because the boat's very small inside, and I don't want a big overpowering picture. She won't have anywhere to put it. So I'm just thinking of stitching the inside only, without the border. I do love the border, but I'd just rather keep the focus on the boat, really. So that is another WIP. Her birthday's in August. I'd quite like to get it done for August, but as I say, the commissions are taking over my life somewhat, and I don't want to start anything more. I can't allow myself to start anything more until the commissions are done. I can't really see past that at the moment. Until they're done, I feel like I just can't see past it. But some other things that I found in my stash when I was going through are some other things that I want to start soon. One of them is this by Doreen Jones, I believe it is, which I just think is so cute. And I can really visualise it on the wall in my dining room, which has sort of become my craft room over lockdown. It's got my sewing machine in here, crafts and fabrics and stuff everywhere. But this I just think is so cute. And I'm not sure what Ada it is, but they've got it on here. Doesn't actually say, but I know that Coffee Craft Fabrics will have something perfect for that to go on. Again, I'll probably use Classic Colourworks, particularly for the rainbow. Although the rainbow is charted in individual colours. Yeah, I think I might just use the Classic Colourworks. I'm not sure. But I just think that's so cute and would look absolutely beautiful on the wall in my crafting room. So that's another one in the pipeline. Can't put any sort of date or time on when I'm going to start that yet, but that is something that I'd like to stitch. Something else I found in my stash was this, which is really cute. Didn't even realise that I had it. Not sure if you can see that properly, but it's Santa Claus and his reindeer. it's obviously an advent calendar type thing. I probably won't stitch the numbers on the bottom. I'll probably just stitch the strip of the sleigh and the reindeers. I've been looking for something Christmassy to start probably around about November time. My commissions will definitely be finished by then. I'm not letting them run on any further than July, really, if I can help it. And then coming into the autumn, I'll carry on with the Cathedral Woods Goddess, and then probably coming into November, I'll start something Christmassy, which could be this. Again, I can see that the Classic Colourworks threads could work really well on the reindeers. So that's something to think about. And then one more thing that I found in my stash, which I thought had been lost forever, is this beautiful lady. Now, I can't, who's this by? It says copyright Claire Coxon. And it's a Design Works one. And I started this absolutely years ago. Here we go. I started this years ago. Here is my little start. But as you can see, the rest of the Ada is gone. And I think I just hacked it off for some reason because I wanted to use it for something else. This was before I was very precious about my Ada or my cross-stitching at all, to be honest. But I made a little start on her. But obviously that's useless now because it's going to be much bigger than that. But I thought the chart had been lost forever, but I found it in amongst some of my magazines, the whole chart. So I'm over the moon about that. Look at her dress. It's all, well, not all, but the silver parts are metallic. The stars, I mean, I guess I could use beads for those. In fact, I don't know what's used for those, but, and then the beautiful bird cage. It's got some metallics on it as well. So one day I'd quite like to start stitching this. Now that I'm more experienced, I can probably work on this better. I can probably do 2 over 1 skin and all this sort of thing, which I never would have dreamt, probably hadn't even heard of when I first started this. But this is another in the to-do list, as we all have. But anyway, so that is just about everything, I think. Let me find my list. I've gone and lost my list now. Well, anyway, I'm just going to assume that that's everything that I wanted to speak about because I can't find my list. Here it is. Yeah, that is everything that I wanted to speak about, really. Not sure when I'm going to do my next video. Hopefully I will have got the commissions out of the way. I will show you the commissions when they're finished, when they're fully finished objects, and then hopefully I'll have a bit more work done on my Stars and Stripes, which is here. Really want to get that finished and sent off. I used are they called Unity threads? I'll have to check that. I can't remember exactly. And you can't really see on here, but they're not metallic, but they're kind of shiny, like silky, but they're really hard to stitch with. Why the heck I chose to do it with those, I don't know. I mean, they are pretty, they do look pretty, and like I say, in real life, they're sort of shimmery, but it's just making work for myself. I love doing that. So it's making it a bit of a slower stitch. I'm hoping now that I've got it on the Q-snap, it might be a bit better, but I can't use my Lowry stand currently. The 2 clamps that I had have been sent back to Lowry. It's a bit of a long story. I bought my Lowry stand second-hand last year, absolutely fell in love with it, but after a while the clamp stopped working, the side clamp stopped working. I was turning it round and it just was going round. I think I mentioned it in one of my previous videos. So I was looking to buy another side clamp. They were out of stock everywhere, and a lovely lady on the Cross Stitching Friends UK group said to me, I've got one, I ordered one brand new the other day, it's wrong, it doesn't fit my stand, you can have it for free, which was unbelievable. And I insisted on trying to pay something, and she said no, just donate to a charity. So I donated some money to Breaking Ground Heritage, which is a group for veterans, army service veterans who use archaeology in their recovery of being injured. So I donated some money to Breaking Ground Heritage, and she sent me it, and it's perfect. But I've since learned that for Q-snaps, you should really use a corner clamp. So I thought, well, okay, I got in touch with Lowry and I explained the situation of having one broken clamp and one almost brand new clamp. The lady had got it brand new from Lowry, never used it. I'd had it for about a week, only used it for a week. And I explained to them, look, I've got these two clamps. One's broken, one's pretty much brand new. Can I send you them both? Can you fix the broken side clamp for me and send me a new corner clamp? And they said, yes, that's perfectly fine. So they're absolutely amazing at Lowry. So I've managed to get those sent off this week. They've received them. I'm waiting for them to get back to me to tell me how much it's going to cost for the repair and if there's any difference in price between the side clamp and the corner clamp, which I think there is. But either way, it's going to work out cheaper than buying a new corner clamp. So soon they should be back, and then I can get back on with using my Lowry stand properly, and that's going to make life easier for stitching my whips. This one is in a hoop currently, and it seems to be going okay. But again, it won't fit in any of the Q snaps that I've got. So I'm managing with this at the moment, but this was within a smaller one. I can't manage with smaller ones, so it had to go in a Q snap. So that's all I've got to say, really. I hope everyone's doing well. I hope everyone's having fun with their stitching. I know that I need stitching to take my mind off what's going on in the rest of the world, and it helps me in that way. But thanks for watching, and see you next time.